Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial. This one is just a quick one. I'm going to just get into it. So I'm just making something simple because I got an order and I haven't been able to make a tutorial in a very long time. So this is it, and hope you all have been well. Sorry I haven't been able to make a tutorial on your requests, but I'll get to it when I get the time to. So I'm going to use this crystal clear sugar beads, and as usual we'll be starting with the 4 bead flower. So you go this way. So I want to teach you a way to make your work very firm. Still using the 4 bead flower, but your work is going to be very firm. So this is the usual 4 bead flower, right? You put the thread in both sides and then you pull down, but you realize once you leave it, it's not stable. So I'm going to just remove it again and show you how to make it firm to a point where when you leave your thread, your work is still just going to be that firm and then stable. So instead of doing that, you're just going to take the same thread, send it back into the same bead, making a loop like this. So you're going to pass the other side of the thread through the loop, and then you pull. So you're going to be making a knot. That's what it is, like this. So once you pull and you leave, you see your work is just strong, firm, and then stable. So try using the loop process instead of just the crisscross process. That should help your work be firm. That is a complaint I've gotten in the comment section a lot. Most of you don't know how to make your work firm, so this is how to make your work firm. So now we'll continue with 3 3. As it's a 4 bead flower process, we already have 1, so we just add in 2. Now we'll pick another one and then we'll make a loop. Don't worry, the background changes soon. I started before I realized the light is reflecting too much, so I kind of changed it, but I had already videoed this part, that is why. And please, all your requests you made, I haven't forgotten, and it's not like I've not read them. Work is just keeping me so occupied I've not been able to do any beading, but that should change very soon, I hope. So I'm just going to do most of the rest offline. I think we're going to do a straight one like this, about 10 of it. So I'm just going to continue the same process and make about 10-11 of it. Remember, I'm using a loop. That is why my work is just this firm. Instead of the crisscross, I'm using a looping process. See how firm the work is, and you leave it and it doesn't just dismantle. So I'll do the rest of camera, then we'll continue. Yet, so after this point I realized the light is reflecting on the table too much, so I had to put something on the table. So yes, I did most of them offline, and I'm just continuing from this part. I got to a point of editing before I realized when I raised my work, it's cut off the screen, and I'm sorry about that. Remember, the knot from the loop is supposed to end up in the middle of the bead, not to the sideways. That way your work will be kept. Now the turning part. So most of you asked how to turn. So this is it for you. You use one of the thread, put all the two beads in one of the thread. Instead of putting one in this one in this one, and using a one to crisscross, you're going to put all two in one, and then the one to crisscross two in the same one, and then make your loop and pass the other one just through the loop. That's all. That's how you turn your work. So now your thread is up here, right? But then you're not going straight that way. We're not going this way. We want to go that way. So the other thread outside, not close to any beading, that's where you put your other beads. So now I'll start again with 3. So we'll put 2 here, and then use the other one to crisscross. So you could be making a loop, but my thread, the other one is shorter, so I'm trying to send it inside and bring the other one out. So this is it. So now your work is turned. This goes to the next bead closest to it, like this. So the next bead closest to it up. Now you have 2 beads. Sorry, let me show you. Now you have 2, right? 1, 2. So you're going to be adding 2, 2 from this point on. So 1, like this, and then another one to crisscross, which now we are using a loop, so we don't crisscross anymore. And I'm going to pull it out like that. So we'll just continue the same process. So you put the inside one through the next bead closest to it up, like this. And then you put your 2 beads in the outside thread, like this. 1, and then the other one to loop, and then pull your other thread through the loop. See, that is supposed to make your work very firm. And as you can see, my work is firm, it's not moving around. And it doesn't have to be only sugar beads, even with pearls or round beads, any other beads, you use the crisscross version of 4 beading, and then it's just going to be very firm. So you should try it. So I'm just going to continue like this to the end. Yes, so I kind of already did this off camera, so I'm just going to continue and then once again show you how. Oh yes, this is where another question is answered: how to join your thread, how to end your thread, right? Like this. So this is the ending, and then for the sake of how to end your work, how to hide your knots, I'll do this on camera here so you see. So this is it. I'm supposed to turn this way, but my thread is short, so I'm going to end it that way and begin again. So I'll add my 2 beads in, and then instead of making a loop, I'll just tie. Okay, I'll just tie it like this, making it very firm. So tie a couple of times I tie mostly about 2 times, pulling, making sure it's very hard. Now I'm just going to pass my thread through the bead closest to it. Mostly one of the beads the thread just came out of, like this, and then I'm going to pull very hard to make sure the knot, see, enters that side of the bead. And then I'm going to pass it through another bead closest to it, just to be safe. Then I can cut off the excess thread. So I'm just going to push the thread against the bead. Mostly that's how I cut off my excess thread. Push it against the bead and you cut. Push this one against the bead and then you cut. And that is how you end your work. That is how you cut and hide your excess thread. So now we're going to start off first, and this is another question answered: how to join your thread. So you can start from any side of them, either side or this side, it doesn't matter, just start from any side of them. So right here on the first bead up, that is where I put my thread. Now working that way, not up, so we're going to need our thread to curve. So you see the thread outside your work, not closest to any bead. You're going to put 3 beads in it, so 2 at first, like this, and then you're going to pick the third one and use to crisscross. But instead of crisscross, of course, now we are doing a loop, so we just create a loop and then pull the other thread through the loop, and then so we'll pull our loop tight to make it very firm, like this. So we're going to be going that way. So the other thread closest to the beading, you put it through the next bead close to it up, like this, just like we've been doing right from the beginning. There's no difference here. Just beading is just a repetition of process. So this is just it. So we already have 2, so now we'll continue with our 2 as usual. And yes, make a loop, pass the other bead through the loop, pull it through the loop and knot it. That's all. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Is there something that I did wrong? Of course, except the part where I raised the work and it's not showing, that I didn't know that was happening. I'm so sorry about that. So let's do the rest of camera and continue. So yes, I went ahead and did the rest of camera. So I did the width of 7. You know, usually this is how it goes, right? We'll bead it, like we mat it and then come and fold the sides and then mat around. But for the sake of all beginners, we're not going to do that today. So we're going to start all afresh. We're not going to fold ends to mat it, okay? So I'm just going to, oh yes, I did buy a cutter. Pardon me, the blade was just the fastest and closest to me. Someone suggested I should buy a cutter, and I did buy one. In my next tutorial, I'll be using that. So you could join your thread from where I've started or from the opposite of it. That's all fine. So here, the bead that is out, it's what we'll be starting with 3 beads, because we already have 1, and it's a 4 beading flower process. So this one, that's what we'll put our thread beads, sorry. So 2, and then the third one to make our loop, of course. And if you are still using the crisscross version, you make your crisscross. So the loop, and then we'll pull the other thread through the loop, like this, right? And then we'll pull and make a knot. See, I'm so sorry about this part where when I raise the work it goes off the screen. Sorry about that one. So you put the thread through the next bead closest to it like this, and then of course now we have two, so you continue with two, 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 two. It's just as simple as that. Beading is just a repetition of process. Once you get the first two, that's just all. You just be repeating the rest. So we're just going to be continuing this whole process. The reason why I haven't done all by now, it's for the sake of the beginners, the very, very beginners. So yes, we're just going to be repeating the same process all around the pattern we've already done. So I'm hoping to answer another question here: how to curve your work. It's still the same thing, no difference there. You just have to put your thread in the right bead. Okay, just put your thread in the right bead. That is all. So returning, we're done with that side, so we're going to the side. So this is where our thread that is closest to the beading comes through, like this, and this one goes through this one like that. There you go. So you just continue the same process. That is just about it. So now that this is I'm doing the rest of camera. So here it's what I did off camera. This is the ending. So my thread is long. I'm not going to cut it. So I'm going to show you how to curve with your thread. Of course, for the beginners that don't know how to curve, this is me trying to show you how to curve with your thread so long, like here. Now this thread that you've been using to pass through other beads, that's what you'll be using right now, not the thread you've been using all along, but this one has suddenly become the one inside and this one is the one outside. So you put all the beads in that one, so one, and then two, make a loop in that one again, and then you pass the other thread through like this, and now your bead it's your threads are facing up, but we're not going upwards, we're going sideways, right? So the same thread outside, you put three beads in it. This is a beginning of a new rule, of course, so we're starting with three. So you put two, and then the third one you make your loop in that one, and then pick the other thread, pass it through the loop, pull, and make sure it's knotted in between the beads. Sorry. See? And this is what you should get. Oh, sorry. So the intention was to raise it for you to see it up close what you get, but then when I raised it, it seemed to have got off camera. So you pass your thread, and then you continue with the same process we started with. No different. So I made a crochet work just recently, and then I was doing it at work, so I wasn't able to make a tutorial on it, and then I'm not so happy about that. But the next order I get, or once I have an off day from work, I'll try to make a crocheting tutorial. Just so let's go ahead and do the rest of camera. Okay, so here it is. Oh, this is indeed worrying. So of course my thread is short, my work has ended, so we'll end it here. Instead of making a loop in the last one like we do, we'll be tying the last one instead. So we're just going to tie, pull very hard like this, tie again. Of course you never tie it once, it has to be two or more. Never tie it once. So double pull it hard, make sure it's very hard, and then you're going to pass your thread through the closest beads to it. So like this, and I'm going to pull to make sure the knot ends up hidden. See, ends up hidden in the bead. But one thing you should know about hiding your knot is that you should be hiding it in the bead you know that your work won't be passing through again, because once the knot is in that bead, that hole is blocked. No thread can come in or out of it. So never hide your knots in an edge bead, one at the edge, because definitely you'll be working in one of the edges. So if you hide your knot there, you're stuck. So I just go ahead and pass it through a couple of beads to hide the knot, push the thread against the work or bead, and then cut off. Push it and then cut. I did make a tutorial. After the handle that I made a tutorial, and then before I could edit it and load it, my phone got stolen, so I couldn't. So I went ahead and did the same thing again. Of course, you guys know I like doing them in two parts and joining it instead of just matching it long. I'm too lazy and too anxious to mat it that long, so I just always do it in two parts. So now we're going to join our two parts together. So of course we'll cut our thread, get our beads, and then you just put one bead in your thread like this, and then you put one side of it through the one work, and then another side of it through the other work at same places. Okay, so if the bead went through the beginning of this one, it must go through the beginning of the other one too. Seriously, my editing, no, my videoing is still an issue, because I place the camera, I think it's okay. I sit down and video finish, and then I see my work is everywhere. So this is me trying to get the work to just be at one place so I can join it for you to see. Doing it on a table seems, even though I've been doing tutorials for a while now, it seems odd. So we're going to put one other bead, make a loop of course, and then join with the loop. Like this. And then we're going to pull very hard. Oh no 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 no. At this point I'm so disappointed. I'm just going to keep quiet. But you guys know what we're doing, right? You could check the other the first back tutorial that I made. You see how the joining is done. So I think from this side it's much easier to see. So oh no, I give up. I really thought it was just easier to see here, but no. So yes, we pass the thread through both sides, one thread through this one thread through the other, and then you pick a bead in one of them. It doesn't matter which one. Make a loop in the same with the same thread, and then pass the other one through the loop, and then just pull like this, and it's joined. Pass a thread through one bead. So at this point it's already off camera anyway, so I'm just going to do the rest of it off camera. And it's late, so I had to continue the other day. It was really late. So here we are the next day, and today I'm just trying to make a handle on it. So instead of making a chunky bead handle and joining, I'm going to make it directly on. So I need 3 beads in the middle. So I'm going to use these 3 beads in the middle, starting with one of them. Once you're making a chunky handle, you always need 3 beads. But what you need to make sure is that what you have at the end of the 3 beads are equal. So if I have one line at this side, I have to have one line at the side. If I have one line at the side and 2 lines at the side, it's going to be crooked. So join your thread to one of the 3 beads and just start. So I started with this one. And then I'm just going to be making a 4 bead flower chain, a chain of 4 bead flowers. Just make it as long as you want your handle, okay? Making it as long as you want your handle to be. So this is how we're making the chain, right? So I'll just go ahead and then do most of the chain off camera, because we all already know how to make a chain, don't we? So you see it's very firm. Make sure you're using the loop process. Even if you use the crisscross process for the whole of this bag, try to use the loop process for your handle, just because we want a firm handle. Once your handle is loose, or your bag is firm and your handle is loose, it's really not nice and attractive. So try to use that process. So I'm going to do most of it off camera. Here we are. So I kind of edited out most of the parts. I hadn't even realized it until now. So what happened is I did a 4 bead flower loop to the end, and then started with the second line, did it back here like this. So I'm going to start with the third line and did it and do it back up. Sorry, what's wrong with me this morning? So like this. I'm really sorry, I hadn't noticed I edited that one up, and I've already deleted the rest of the unedited, so I can join it back. But you get it right. You just make a 4 bead flower, chain of 4 bead flowers, go down, join it to the other end of it, come back up. Wait, I do have a video on how to make a chunky bead bag. So yes, this is just the process. So this way. Now I'm going to start with the third one, right? Most people will want to leave their handle at this point like this, but that is not what I'm going for. My customer wanted a chunky bead handle, so that's what we're doing. So we're going to do the third line and add up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my. Oh no 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 no. Okay guys, so what I basically did is just do the whole thing and then just fold it. I'm so sorry. No, 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 no. I'm so sorry guys. I didn't know most of it was edited out like this. I'm sorry. Really. And I'll just keep quiet. So I'm done with this one. Hmm. So I'm just going to now do the lead, the cover. What is it that is called? I have no idea what it's called. Okay, so I'm just going to do the other part that closes it. So I'm going to start with this bead here. And of course it's still a 4 bead flower process, so we're going to use 3 beads. This is how we're working. So that means I'll be working in one particular thread and the other one is going to just be there passing through the loop. So 1, 2, and then I'll use the third one to make the loop like this, and then pass the other thread through the loop like that, and then I'll pull it. This is it. So once you push it, see, it should be able to cover. And of course, in my first bag tutorial, it was much clearer. I think I'll stick to using darker colors on tutorials. That way the light doesn't reflect on it so much, so you're not seeing what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep quiet, and then you just see me do the rest. So this is just me ending my. So I'm just making a knot, very firm knot. So I'll tie it a couple of times, and then I'll pass the thread through a couple of beads to hide the knot, and then pass it through a couple of beads away from where the knot is hidden, and then I'll cut off my excess thread. And that is it. This bag took longer than usual to video because I have to stop at some point, go to work, and come back and continue. So thank you so much once again for watching. I really appreciate that, and this is the worst video I have made so far. that is something I'm aware of, and yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm apologizing for that. I'll make something soon, I promise. So I'm just cutting off my excess thread, and there we have our bag. So this is it. I'm just going to try and then close it. Yeah, here. Once it's sugar beads, it's just so easy this way and very therapeutic. Just pushing them against each other like this is just fun. Anyway, here we have our bag. Simple, easy, and we are not putting um, magnets to it because it's sugar beads. It just sticks on its own. See? So once you raise it and you close it, still the same. Thank you for watching. See you in our next tutorial.